Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. The harvest continues. Looking at it from here, you can see the scale of this field. We're not even halfway done. But to me, this looks like a more correct scale to things. You know, a lot of times I feel like even the big fields are too small. You know, I watch farming videos on YouTube, and the fields are generally much, much bigger than the equipment that works them. And this field looks like it's just about the right size. I think it'll be better once we get this other field over here to add into it as well. But in any case, we'll let this keep going. Once it gets close to that power pole, I'll have to keep a close eye on it to help it keep doing things properly. In the meantime, I've been making bales. So we've got a lot of hay bales. I have one grass bale. Oops. And as usual, I turn off my equipment when I mean to fire it up. Yeah, I have one grass bale because the first bale that I made, I still had 3,000 or so liters of grass left over in the baler from the last time that I used it. So the first bale came out as grass, and all the rest of them have been hay. And once we get all the hay bales done, then we will bale some straw. And so that one grass bale, I might as well just wrap it and turn it into silage, since I'm going to keep these bales. This hill's a little bit too much. You can see my speed slowing down quite a bit there. Whoops. And I just do every second row like this because it's a lot easier to make the turn. So I do half of them one way and then half of them on the way back. Not quite sure how many bales we have here, but it's probably at least 2 or 3 loads. And then with this, I won't have to make any hay for quite a long time, I don't think. Now, I've been thinking it might be a good idea to try to set up see if I can get a shed over here that I can store the bales in, rather than just leaving them out in the open on the other side of the farm there. But first I want to check the sheds that we have available and see if any of them are tall enough to accommodate a full stack of bales off of this machine. That I'm not too sure about. Okay, that's all for the hay. Let's see. How do I unload? There we go. Okay. Now let's start doing some straw. I'm going to do these horizontal ones first. There's one on the top side of the field as well. And I expect my first one is going to be hay. Yep. And then the next one will be straw. So I talked in the last episode about the possibility of, starting on a different map. And I asked for some feedback to see what everybody thought, whether we should continue with this map or start a new one. Since we've been at it for, this will be episode 41 now. And pretty much everybody who had something to say about it said that they would like to see it continue. So we'll keep going on this farm. I mean, it's certainly not what I would consider complete at this point. There's a lot left we can do with it, so I think that's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to finish off this row and then we'll go empty the harvester. I think I've got 3. I think I've unloaded it 3 times already. Get that bale out of the way. There we go. Actually, let me get up to the top of the hill here so I don't lose my momentum. Getting a little late in the day. It's almost 6 o'clock. Okay. Unfortunately, the pipe is on the side that we want it to be on. So, yeah, I've got 31,000 in the trailer here, so that's 3 loads. And this will be number 4. Okay. Back to baling. Yeah, these still a little bit underpowered to get up these hills. This baler really does suck up a lot of power. Well, these hills are quite steep. I suppose that we would probably slow down going up this hill even with nothing on the back of it. That's interesting. It seemed like the big pile at the end, it seemed like it represented a bigger power load than the rest of the swath is. Maybe that was my imagination, but it seemed like it slowed down more once it went over that big mound, and then once I got through it, it started to accelerate a bit. Unfortunately, I can't see the electrical tower from this view. I want to hopefully catch it before it gets close, so I can jump in and make sure that it's not going to do anything strange. I mean, I guess the worst case is if I just let it go by itself, then I'll have a strip of land on one side of the tower, either the north or the south side, that I'll have to go back and do when the rest of the field is finished. That wouldn't be such a big issue, really. Right, so like I mentioned, because everybody is pretty much in support of continuing this map, I will do so, at least until Stevie's new map is released officially, and then I'll probably start a new series on that. Now, the idea there was, or the idea that I had for switching maps, I mean, it's not my idea. I've seen other YouTubers do this. But the idea was to, at the conclusion of this series, sell all of the buildings and equipment, sell the animals, sell the land, and then whatever money we end up with, we start off on the new map with that. Now, the thing with Stevie's map is that it's a lot like Farm Simulator 17, where you know, the design of the farmyard and everything is kind of like a built-in feature of the map. So whether you start a new farmer mode or farm manager mode or start from scratch mode, you start with the same amount of stuff. And at least on the test version of the map, that includes several large buildings. You know, they're like sheds, but they're more like, they're very big. You can store a lot of equipment in each shed. There's one pen for every type of animal, except for chickens. Like the chicken is kind of a custom pen that he put together himself, I think. But there's one pen for every type of animal. There's silos, and then there's a good set of equipment. You know, there's a New Holland CR1090, you know, the big harvester. There's also the small New Holland harvester. There's a Fent 1000 series. There's a couple of John Deeres, lots of implements, you know, every kind of implement that you would need to run the farm. So, but then depending on what mode you pick, you get the starting money for that mode. So, so actually you get more money by starting in a harder mode. Okay, yeah, see, now it's getting confused. I'll just move this down to the bottom. So like when I started a game in new farmer mode, you know, I started with all that stuff, the farm ready to go. In fact, you even start the map with some animals in each of the pens. And in new farmer mode, there's also some stuff in the silo. So you have a little bit to start with so that you can feed your animals right away. until you get yourself set up. And then you get $100,000 and either no loan or very small loan, like you would normally in new farmer mode. And then if you start in farm manager mode, you get all the same stuff, but in that case you have 1.125 or $1.25 million and a larger loan. So it seems like you'd be better off, if you want the money, you'd be better off starting in farm manager mode and then just adjust the options to suit you. Because you'll start off with all the same equipment, but you'll have more money. So anyway, to make a very long story short, what I need to do is figure out how we would simulate the sale of this farm and go to that one. Maybe I would just sell off all the equipment that he includes with the map, bring over my money, and then buy my own equipment. That could be an option. Or I could take the money and his equipment and just say, okay, we have, pretend we had more money. Or maybe I should not sell this one and just, I don't know. If you guys have any thoughts on it, let me know. Okay, this should be good for a little while longer. Back to our baling. So we started on this map with the 1.25 million. We borrowed another 750 or so. So we've put about 2 million of capital into this place. And I'm interested to see what we would get out of it if we liquidated everything. Obviously the equipment is all going to lose some value. The land doesn't lose any value. And then we would have to pay off the bank loan. So we would need to be able to get, I'd say close to 2 million or so from selling everything in order to have a better starting position than we would if we just started a new game on that other map. Because if we get 2 million and we pay off the loan, then we'll be back to the 1.25 that we started with. But I have to believe that we'll end up with more than that because we've been busy. We've been doing a lot of work. We've been making a lot of money, upgrading our stuff. So even though we're still relatively cash poor, we do have a lot more capital than when we started. Okay, nearly done. And I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to get that last bale. And then I'm going to stop baling. We'll leave the rest of the straw in the field. And this way I won't end up with a bale of straw the next time I use the baler. Because I don't think the rest of what's there would be enough to get another bale out of it. Okay, so before we put the baler away, I think we ought to give it a But first we need to empty this guy. Okay, yeah, and we'll have to come back and finish that spot behind the tower. Alright, so we'll be able to take this load plus most of the next one, and then we'll go and sell what we've got. That'll get us up to 60,000. Currently on a bit of a break from my Factorio series. Actually, I mean, I still have one that I'm putting out, but I've already finished it. I was going after a speed achievement to finish the game in 8 hours or less. And so I did. I just kind of binged the recording of that series. I recorded all the episodes in 3 sittings, because I had some time to myself the last few days. So that means I'll have a little more time to farm some videos. I'm not going to start a new Factorio series until the new version is released, which hopefully will be in the next couple of weeks. Okay. I'll wash this off. I'm not going to bother washing my tractor yet because I'm still going to be busy with it. I'll just wait until everything's done. Clean it up then. Okay. And we'll take it to the workshop to give it a repair before we put it away. And that way it'll be ready for the next time. Okay. Yep, I'm not too good at backing this thing up. Nope. Let's try it again. See if I can do it from in cab. I would feel pretty proud of myself if I could. Alright, so I'm going to get it just as close to this pole as possible, and then I think I'll be okay. Nice. Cool. And before I forget, let me get this bale wrapper so we can go wrap that one bale of grass. And there was this one over here. And I'll just drop it off here. Now this thing is a major pain to reverse with because it's so short and it's kind of asymmetrical. I mean, I don't know if that affects how it turns, but I have a difficult time with it. Okay. Well, that wasn't as bad as I was expecting. All right, let's start collecting bales. And we'll start with the hay. Got 26 hours on this Puma. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be more than 2 loads. At least that's how it looks to me without counting them. Well, maybe not. It'll be close. Okay. And I'm just going to try to park this to the side of those 4 bales there. Get it as close as I can without knocking anything over. That looks pretty good. Oh, and I wanted to check. Well, I suppose I can check with this. Yeah, see, this is too tall. I think this is too tall to go in either one of those sheds. So maybe the really big shed would be tall enough to hold bales. We'll have to check and see. In fact, maybe what I'll have to do... No, you were good. Maybe what I'll have to do is save my game, buy the big shed, check it out. If it works, keep it. If not, then reload my save. Alright, let's see if I can go empty this thing before it gets to the end of the row, and then we'll be able to sell our first load of soybeans before we end for today. All right, let's see where is a good place to sell soybeans today. Port Southeast. Okay, well, we all know where that is. There we go. Feels a little heavy, but not too bad. Yeah, it's definitely heavy. And I just got an achievement for Humongous Harvest, which is either 100 acres or 100 hectares. I'm not sure which. Okay, and from last time I learned that the better route is on this road. Sorry, I'm not too chatty today. Just don't have a don't have a whole lot to say about this. I hope I get a lot of money for these crops. I can say that. Because if we don't have enough to buy a new harvester, then we're going to have to do another harvest with this not very big one. And I don't look forward to that. Now, we could always lease a bigger harvester, but then I have to pay those upfront lease costs again, which is quite a lot of money on the bigger harvesters. And if I'm planning to buy it anyway, then I would hate to lose that money. Maybe I should do a series where I just lease everything and see how that turns out. All right, see what we get. $150. Okay. So $150 is a lot of money to get all at once. But if I get another $150 for the rest of the field, which I'm not sure we can actually get, that would be about $300,000 plus the 40 that I already have. That's not going to be enough for a new harvester. I should have not bought that solar panel. Well, we'll figure something out. If I have to, I'll do a bunch of missions for a couple days, and then I'll see you guys next week with a new harvester. Or we could just buy another field and lease the bigger harvester and just do long-term lease on the harvester. I think we already established that unless you're going to be using the same piece of equipment for, 30 days or more, something like that, that leasing is actually less expensive. Of course, it depends on how many hours you use it. You might not want to lease plows since every time you use it, it takes several hours. But I mean, I guess the harvester now is going to take several hours with all this field, but the bigger you get, the fewer hours it's going to take. And it's nearly full again, really. That's awesome. All right, let's see if I can force it to stop here. A lot of times if you make it unload at the end of a row, yeah, it'll stop and finish unloading. I wonder what hay is worth. What if I sell some hay bales? Hay is not worth very much. Yeah, it's slightly more than straw, not a lot more. Okay. Well, anyway, I will finish this harvest up and see how we end up. If we've got enough for a new harvester, then I will start the next episode with the selection and purchase of that harvester. If it's not enough money, then, like I said, I'll probably just do some contracts or something to make up for the shortfall. Look, there's a $10,000 fertilizing contract, so we'll take that for sure. That'll be a good one to do. Always like those fertilizing contracts. That's on field 10, which is just to the north of field 18. So I'll fire up my T6 and go take care of that right now. Until next time, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.